Hey, it's me, ep.3, and put on your post-apocalyptic pants because we're talking Call of Duty. Alright, let's start. So first of all, Call of Duty is a pretty fun series, and first off, we're going to be focusing on slitting a man's throat because we're talking about knifing, how realistic that is inside the game. So to slit a man's throat, okay, before we start, I'm going to advise viewer discretion because this is very disturbing stuff that we're talking about. So when you slit a man's throat, the person doesn't die of bleeding out. They usually die of suffocation from not being able to draw in air, or they actually drown inside their own blood. Yeah, that usually takes 1 minute to 2 minutes. So, Call of Duty, sorry, but this knifing parade, if you slit a man's throat, they're not going to die in a second, sadly. Next up, we're talking about knifing somebody in the lungs. Now, when you dive in and you knife somebody in the lungs inside the game, of course they die instantly. But when you puncture a person's lung, this time they actually do die, usually of bleeding out or of suffocation, and that takes much longer than a few seconds. Now, let's talk about stabbing somebody in the back. This is a diagram of the spine because we're going to be talking about spinal cords. All the nerves inside there are very major. So if you, but to kill them instantly, you're going to have to hit them at a very special angle, or you're going to have to saw straight through the spine. And well, this knife is serrated, but it's going to take a little bit more than one easy, quick swing to saw through a person's spine. Yeah. So, next up, we've seen this a lot. I mean, you shoot a person, they don't die, then you go and knife at, then you crouch down, wait, knife them in the foot, and bam, they're dead. Now, let's see. Can knifing somebody in the foot actually kill them? Well, if we look at the bones, they guard your foot very well. So, wait 1 second, actually. Let's look at what's inside the foot. All of these bones do guard them, but there are tons of open spots that you can dive a knife into. And if you see, remember the serrated knife? That could actually saw through there. And look, there's a bunch of major arteries. So you could stab those, and yes, a person would die from that. But it would take a few minutes to bleed out. So sadly, knifing isn't realistic. Yeah, not in Call of Duty at least. So, ep.3,